This is Sniz with Bloodbane, World 11, Lord of Ultima. Typically, our instructional videos are for members only, in an attempt to help our players be stronger and avoid doing the retarded things that make other players and alliances laugh. However, today I thought I'd break a little bit with that tradition and give a little bit of help to DuhKnights, as from what I can see so far, they are sorely going to need the help. We are in this conflict with DuhKnights for, I don't even quite know why. I'll give you a little bit of the history first. I don't know, about a month ago, we started getting game mails from Sir Greens. Oh my God, you gotta join us. We gotta merge. We gotta focus on the end game. And so on. I understand it. He was trying to recruit. We were a fairly new alliance. He wasn't quite aware that we were a very strong and about to become very powerful alliance. And so he was just doing what he was probably doing with most of the small alliances on Continent 20. At some point, he decided that he was very threatened by our fast advancement and development, and started spamming our members daily with incoherent babble for the most part. He basically quickly made himself a joke among our alliance members. So at some point I decided I'd send him a whisper and, have a quick conversation with him, see what the hell he was all about, and he suddenly shifted into this mode about he wanted to be our friends and our allies, and he wanted to play the end game with us, and he wanted us to merge with them, or you guys merge with us, and he loved us, and he loved all of our resources, and the fact that we have a website, an event, blah, blah, blah. I ended up in event discussion with him, a lot of whispers with him, some game mail communications. Bottom line is, I'm not quite sure how old the guy is. My guess is he's somewhere in his mid-teens. Certainly, no matter what age he is, he lacks the maturity and patience it takes to really play this game well. Nevertheless, I wasn't into any desire to make an enemy, especially this early in the game, so I figured, let's at least, I'm not ready to jump in bed with anybody day one. I barely knew him. I barely knew anyone in your alliance. Figured, let's take it to officers, maybe do a little bit of maybe one of our officers goes to your alliance for a week, one of your officers comes to us, and we, spend a week or two seeing if it's a good fit, what kind of players you guys had, if you know what you're doing, don't know what you're doing, if we do, if it's a good, social fit and whatnot. And, the idea is long term, who knows, we might be allies, who knows what would happen long term with a situation like that. I told him I was going to be talking to our officers. Take me a day or two to get back to him. Within 8 hours of the end of that conversation, he got pissed because some settlement that he was trying to settle got settled by one of our members, and immediately went back to spamming our members, blah, blah, blah. You guys, he's basically attacking me, telling our members that I don't know what I'm doing and that I'm trying to betray everybody and who knows what. Anyway, long story short, the spams have continued. I've tried several times to get him to back off, chill out, and whatnot, and finally got sick of the spams and decided to send my own mail out to members of DuhKnights. Now, I wouldn't normally do that. I don't think that's cool. If I want to have a partnership with a guild, then I deal with their leadership. I don't contact their members. If I want to try to attack a guild or an alliance, I would do so by spamming their members and trying to recruit them and whatnot. Anyway, so I finally decided, hey, you want to be my enemy? Well, two can play at that game. I sent, I think, a total of 2 mails so far. I certainly am not into daily incoherent babble game mail spam. But yeah, I've done a little bit of mailing your members already. And basically trying to see, hey, can you guys select a different representative? Because we can't deal with Sir Greens. He's an idiot. He's a retard. He's a kid. He has no patience. And I think it's time to at least select a different representative if you seriously want to have some kind of an alliance or something. Haven't received any kind of response from anyone else. However, a couple of your members decided that they wanted to join us. And since that time, the game mails have continued, and now you are attacking our members. I don't care what the history. If you attack a member of Bloodbane, we will retaliate. That's a fact. I would expect no less from you. You have directly attacked our members. You have sent daily game spam to our members. And if it's war that you want, war you'll get. I am still open to diplomacy. I am not going to deal with Sir Greens, and in fact I'm not going to deal with DuhKnights as long as Sir Greens is leading it and representing it. However, I'm sure a lot of you guys are great players. I've heard some good things about a few of your players, and you know, I'm open to discussing something other than dealing with Sir Greens in any way. My recommendation is if Sir Greens isn't ready to let someone else pick up the leadership role that's a little more competent, that you guys should bail on that. Quite frankly, I'm not even necessarily trying to recruit most of your members because most of them aren't anywhere that I'm interested in at this point. But I'd suggest a change, jump to a different alliance, maybe somebody else we can work with or something. But I wouldn't suggest remaining there. Anyway, didn't really plan on doing a whole little propaganda piece, but I thought, you know, hey, any members of your members that decide to come here and watch this, they should at least know what's going on. Now, I finally decided enough was enough. I decided I'd go ahead and let you guys know that we weren't just going to sit here and let you spam and attack our members all day long with no repercussions. So I went ahead and brought one of my castles online, did a little plundering, did a built a little colony over on 21 to see if you guys really want this. You know, let's go. Basically, the point I wanted to get at today was regarding plundering. At this stage, we're not ready to go castle to castle. That war is not on yet. It's not going to be on for some time. The route that we're going, we will have a castle to castle war. At present, it's just a little plundering, a little skirmishes, a little psychological warfare. So if you're going to engage in that, you should do it well. If you want to plunder somebody, you want to do so in a way that's going to generate a lot of resources, minimize your losses, make them a little bit nervous. You don't want to lose more troops than you get in resources. You certainly don't want to attack plunder-proof locations, and you certainly don't want to attack the same target over and over and over and over from long distances when there's tons of time to prepare. So the example of a decent plunder, or actually really good plunder, is LZ. Caught him sleeping. Very little defense, walked away with, I don't know, close to 500,000 in resources, with a large force, lull. And I also, by the way, sent a few scouts, which is a good idea when you're plundering. Why not send scouts with them? As long as they're mixed in with others, your scout losses will be minimal. You can get some information about your enemy, what they're doing. So I'd recommend if you really want to plunder me over there on 21, you want to see what I'm doing too, send a few scouts. Doesn't cost you anything. Anyway, so, you know, and when I hit Sir Greens, he was at least a little more prepared for the plunder. I took fairly heavy losses, but still a net gain, and still makes the point. Now, when you guys decided you wanted to start plundering me over on 21, Qsmat at least started off a little on the right track. You know, he sent the first attacks, caught me sleeping a little bit. I was certainly prepared for plundering. You know, but he got, I don't know, 100,000 or so in resources between all of his attacks. He had some losses on some of his attacks. I certainly wasn't quite as prepared as I'd hoped. Caught me in the middle of a shipment and whatnot. I didn't quite have everything protected. However, he did end up getting a little bit of resources, and he actually had a slight gain. He probably took just enough resources to pay for his attacks, a little bit more. You know, food, I don't care about food actually. I'm sitting food capped anyway, but he got a little bit of iron, paid for his berserkers. That was a successful raid to some extent. And then you guys continued to throw wave after wave after wave after wave at me all night long, and with just a few adjustments, here's what you get. You start taking heavy losses and 0 plunder. Nothing. You're just losing troops there. And I'm losing a few troops too, but guess what? In a defensive scenario with towers and whatnot, you're losing troops 6-to-1, 7-to-1 ratios. And expensive troops at that. Wow, look at that. Some nice warlocks, 350 gold a pop. That was an expensive raid there, buddy. Might want to send cheaper troops to something like that blind over a long distance. So my first tip is to have a little bit of patience. Take it a little slow. Do it right. Give it a little bit of time. Hit fast. Hit hard. Pull back, send the right kind of troops. Don't let it cost you more than it costs me. And, you know, just take your time. You don't have to go so fast. I'm going to run out of time here on this first part, but for those of you that are interested in more tips, there will be more in a part 2.